All right, a very good morning. You're watching the Kokoliriko show that comes every Monday to Friday. Today is the Friday edition of the show. You are most welcome. My name is Frederick Ramadri. I'm here together with Farsih Majid that I'll be also answering shortly. But we have a lot that we'll be really discussing in this show. Remember, I've been off some time just because of some sickness that has been disturbing me. So I'm back. So we'll be continuing with many other issues that are happening elsewhere or here. And if you have been missing this face, it's back. This is Ramadri Frederick. Now, Farish,
yes,
you're most welcome.
Thank you, Frederick. Very good morning to you, viewer.
Okay.
Welcome to the Kokoliriko live show.
Yes, today is the 24th of November 2023, and remember there are a lot of issues that have been going on, and also a lot that is going to happen today. And tomorrow there's a lot, another big day that is actually to be commemorated international. That is the commemoration of the violence, okay? Remembering the issues to do with the fighting violence against women and children across the world. So it is tomorrow. That is one big issue that we'll be talking about. Also, there are a lot of campaigns across the country that is happening. Talk about the road safety campaigns, talk about the issues of anti-human trafficking that is also being rolled around, and also many others that we'll be talking about. Maybe Faris, yes. How's your day?
My day started well because, you know, starting without rains, usually it is something that is quite really good to appreciate for. It's something that is quite good, and we really need to appreciate God for, because it's a bright morning with no cases of rain. So I think that is also a sign that it's a good day, and it's going to be a good day. And to whoever is starting off your day with Kokoliriko live show, we are going to start it off in a bright day, in a bright way. So I think at the end of the day, it is also going to make your day very bright, and that is it.
All right, I can confirm that it is a bright day, and also the morning has started very well. That's why you are able to hear people speaking with a lot of vibe, and it is the start of the weekend for us here. The Friday is actually the start of the weekend. So that is what we'll be really seeing happening throughout, that people have the energy to enter the weekend. And also what you do over the weekend should be something that is also very good, that is able to give you returns at the moment. But also we'll be having guests at some point discussing about the issues of gender-based violence, its impact on the children, and also how about the policies. What are the things that are lacking in our policies? What are the points of advocacy that we have for this region or the country entirely? Because one case can be able to change the narrative in the entire country. So we'll be discussing a lot of things around this. Remember, children have suffered under the issues to do with gender-based violence. The fight between man and the woman always triggers down to the growth of the children, and that is a very big thing that we'll be discussing in the next hours of the show. But first things first, Faris, yesterday there was a launch of the road safety campaign. You happened to attend this. Remember, this started actually from Kokoliriko district, where the regional launch was actually done. That was on Wednesday, and also yesterday was another part for Arua City. Maybe what did you understand from that campaign, and what were the emphasis of the people who were actually rolling out this campaign?
You know, we have a tendency of tending to witness a lot of accidents during the festive season, and that is why this campaign is coming in place, and we have also accepted it now. And that is why we have that belief that maybe during the festive season we tend to witness a number of lives being lost to accidents, and we have really also accepted that. And this is actually something that is quite avoidable, and usually accidents are very much during this period as a result of negligence sometimes of the motorists and the drivers. So I think that is why this campaign is coming up. It is organized by Vivo Energy in partnership with Traffic Police. They are doing a national campaign against on road safety. It's a national campaign on road safety to see to that accidents are really reduced within this period here. And one thing that these people are doing during this period is they are talking to drivers of PSV vans, and these the people who use these small cars for passenger van, for these businesses that maybe taxis, these small cars, you know them, we usually during this period also they have to a tendency of usually causing accidents because they are rushing from one place to another. And yesterday we did have a team of traffic police from Kampala. We did have the spokesperson for traffic police, Kalanura Michael, SSP Kalanura Michael. He was there together with other members of the top leadership of traffic police to talk to the people, and they went to Arua Primary School, where they sensitize the young children, the pupils, because these are the victims sometimes of the results of accidents. Because if you at least look at the information from traffic police, at least every day 12 lives are lost to accidents. And what does this mean? And if you look at out of the 12, 2 must be border related. It means that the 2 deaths that happen daily are border related. And out of the 2 also, you find out that school children die as a result of these accidents on daily basis. So I think why this will come up is because these are the targets that they need to talk out to, because they are the right people that if they receive the information very well, maybe they can use it for protecting themselves.
Maybe apart from those conversations from the people, what is our experience here? How are our road users relating as they actually use these roads?
Yes, Frederick, if you look at how people use roads, if you look at the safety on roads, and this is why it is coming up. We are heading to the festive season. If you look at the festive season, Frederick, you tend to witness that people want to rush where they want to go to quickly within the shortest period of time. And then what is this really impacting? It is impacting and it is drastically causing a number of accidents, because if you are hurrying, you may not be in position to take care of the other road users. So in a way to protect other road users, you instead end up killing them, making them lose their lives. So I think this is why this campaign is coming up. It really also has to target the other road users. And if you have to also witness, within this festive season, you tend to witness that the numbers of people coming on these roads goes high. Because people come from all walks of places, all walks of life. They come on these roads for different reasons. Some come for shopping, some come for their other activities. So I think at the end of the day, when the numbers keep on increasing, you can bear with me that people move from one place to another. Those who come from the up country are heading to down country. Those from down country are heading as well to up country. So I think the movements within this period is also here at times tend to also, that is also tend to be very much, that is why we tend to witness the prices of fares of the buses also tending to go up. I think this is why this is coming up. So I think the campaign is quite well. It is targeting the young children, and Vivo Energy actually came out to give out 40 helmets to young children of our primary school. This is to protect them. And this was given to the children who use boda. Because if you are moving on boda and you're not protected in case of accidents, you can just imagine now. If you had a helmet, maybe it would be a way of protecting you from possible death. So I think giving them helmets. And then we also have the mandate, because Frederick, one thing this people did is they called for vigilance. You know, once you're on this road, your individual security is very much key. It starts with you. Once you're on this road, it starts with you. You must be the first person to be careful on these roads. It may not be the drivers, it is you as the road user. And these drivers also need also to now respect other road users within this period. And with that, we shall maybe see a reduction in terms of the numbers of accidents registered during this period.
Okay, that is it. Maybe we will not really talk so much about it, but for those of you who are using the roads throughout, and even if it is leading to your home, you should be able to really respect the one who has already stepped in. Okay, for instance, you are branching to join a road, you should be able to consider those road signs and also ensure that the speed you are using is that minimal one, not really that which you might say is to your taste is the maximum. So that is very, very important. Life matters. We should be able to really safeguard ourselves from that. Let's move away from that. The issues to do with politics is also really looming around. Remember, yesterday NRM actually released their draft of a roadmap, which was actually said yesterday, and a lot of issues are coming up from this. But we may not talk much about the roadmap, but you look at the issues to do with how really NRM has been able to root itself. And if you look at what is actually happening at a regional level, we show that the mobilizers are actually becoming unsettled because of no support to them by the party. Maybe Farsih, what do you make of this? You have seen these people every time mobilizing, and that's why they have kept their party president as the president of this country for quite a long period of time.
Yes,
do you think they needed really to be supported, and how?
Frederick, these people will get the support that they want. The NRM, we have seen them giving back to these supporters, and maybe why this were coming up is because they need the money. But we are not yet in 2025. Why am I saying 2025, not 2026? Usually we tend to witness open campaigns starting from 2025, but we are not very far from 2025, where you usually tend to witness these elections. So I think campaigns have already started, and though without the clearance of EC, because EC is the one that is supposed to really also give a draft plan for these campaigns to go on. And without these plans, we have really seen people doing politics which is quite illegal, which is not quite called for at the moment. But I think these people they may be doing it for their own reasons. But talking about who are decrying the lack of support from the party I think this is something that is not really, I don't know what to say about it, but I think it is something that is not called for, because we are not yet into the time of elections. And what they are doing right now should be out of their will. It shouldn't be that the party needs to fund them, because if the party is funding them to do campaigns right now, what are we going to be thinking about the party? But we have all known campaigns have started. People are doing campaigns now, but not directly, though people, what they're doing is campaigning. If you have to move to these functions, people have already started saying, vote for me, do for me this. And that is why you can witness right now, most of the members of parliament, most of the politicians are within their constituencies. And why is that so? It means that they are preparing ahead of time. They need to get that connection with their voters now. And for those who have been avoiding their constituencies, trust me, within this period, you witness all of them around to attend all the fundraisings, all the church weddings, all the death they are around within their community members, so that they show their faces that have been disappearing to their communities. So I think this is also something that really is an indication that campaigns have started and people are really preparing for 2026 when it comes to these elections here. So I think NRM, it is not alone, though other parties have really they also have the mandate to start organizing themselves ahead of time, because if they do not organize themselves right now, it is going to give more advantage to the ruling government to see to it that at the end of the day, these things work to their benefit. Because you have witnessed, you have seen the disorganization that we really did see in the other political parties, of which I will not mention their names here, but you all know. So I think if they go back to the drawing board and start reorganizing ahead of time, maybe it will be to their benefit. So I think what NRM is doing right now is to its advantage. It will also help them. So I think the members, what they need to do is they need to go back to their drawing boards, let them find ways, and at the end of the day, all the political parties, because we're in a democratic country, all of us have the mandate to exercise our duties, so exercise our rights. So I think, though the timing, this is not the time which we should be talking about campaigns, because EC has not issued a guideline towards these elections. So I think what they are doing currently, to me, is quite illegal, because we have not seen an EC guideline towards elections.
No,
what we did have is,
yes,
what we did see was EC issuing a roadmap whereby the parties had to go for consultations, and that is the last thing we did see from EC. But concerning campaigns, the campaigns, I think, for now are on hold.
Okay, that is the roadmap I was talking about is for NRM primaries, and also a really formation of the leadership structure. That is what I was actually talking about, which actually commences by December this year, which runs up to 2024. So that is how the party is actually trying to reorganize itself, and also looking at the issues of support to the mobilizers. This has been really so much stressed. Remember the other day on Wednesday, the mobilizers across West Nile under the consortium of the umbrella organization that is West Nile Effort for Museveni actually stormed the RCC's office demanding for at least something to be done in order to support them. Remember, these people actually went for, according to them, they went to Kampala to celebrate the birthday of His Excellency Yoweri Museveni Kaguta, but instead they were not recognized. Some of them slept in corridors and so on. Yes. They actually needed really support in relation to that, but also they have been mobilizing for quite long and they have not been recognized. This really brings me to a question of
if you are to support a party, does it mean that you have to also gain back from these parties? And what does this mean? It means that, to me, this is it now. It means that our politics has been monetarized. Because our politics, I believe, if you are to offer your support to a political party, it should be out of your will. It is because you love the party, not necessarily that you want to earn from it. What does this mean in your own understanding? If these are now complaining about their payments, about their support, so what does this mean? Because if I'm to support you, I think, Frederick, if I'm to give my support to you, it should be free of charge.
Basically, we have seen a lot of things happening. You have seen that during campaigns, money is exchanged at some point, and then some people feel like they are out of place. For instance, if you are my son, okay? You're my son, but we have seen that my sister's son is also here. But I feel like I should be giving more to my sister's son than you. How do you feel?
Obviously, you will feel very bad.
That is what happens. So in simple terms, that is what happens. So because I want to mobilize more support to my camp, I have to pay for those people or to convince them. So as I'm convincing them, I use more delicious words to them. That means you will feel like I love those people more than you. And that's the same expression that these mobilizers are actually raising. Maybe let's leave politics there and move to other issues. Remember, the issues of electricity is also another big issue that is actually happening in this region. Remember, on Thursday, yesterday, the Member of Parliament for our Arua Central Division gave an update about how the region still remains to be in darkness until 2025. And this was one issue that he was actually trying to raise. He said out of the 18.75 million US dollars that was actually borrowed from World Bank for the establishment or extension of electricity to West Nile, this money has actually all been consumed, but the connection has not been completed. So he's actually advocating that most of the members of parliament needed to actually team up to ensure that the connection is done. And if you look at the works at the substations, currently we're talking about 80% completion, and some of them have been already actually commissioned, that the works are done, apart from the one that we have in water and the one that is in Nebi. So what do you make of this? We have seen a lot of poles already put, and there are no cables on them. So Farsih, yes.
Talking about the issues of connectivity to the electricity, and this is the national grid, Frederick, really it is one thing that as people of West Nile we need to pray for. Because we are talking about the connectivity to the national grid, we are past the time that we are really, by now I believe we will be connected to this national grid according to the initial plan. But these days keep on being extended. And what does this mean? It means that this is now limiting investments when it comes to this region here. We cannot have industries because of the lack of power. And we're still relying on the kind of power that we have that is quite unstable, then that is also going to be affecting the kind of businesses that we have. Even the small sector businesses, the small businesses that we are having may not be able to thrive through because of electricity, because they need electricity at the end of the day, and then that is going to also affect our business. So what we need to do is we need to ensure that our members of parliament, our leaders, unite to see to that they put the government to task to explain to us why we really need power and why we desperately need power. Because I believe as West Nile sub-region, we are in desperate need of this power. We need it. It's not that we do not need it. We want it actually now because it is affecting investments. Maybe if you look at how many industries that we would be having here if we had a stable source of power, you can just imagine how many youths that are currently jobless, are out there, are currently unemployed, how they will be actually brought in the industrialization sector to see to where they would actually be earning money from if we had a stable source of power. So I think that would really help boost the businesses that we have in this area, because at the end of the day, we all need power. Without power, at the end of the day, businesses are still going to be affected. So I think our members of parliament need to join the fight against, in the fight to see to that we receive the power. We need the power. Okay. Because at the end of the day, if we don't have power in this region, Frederick, businesses are going to be still on low scale. We are going to be remaining the poverty line that we are still talking about. I believe one reason why we are still one of the poorest regions is because of the issues of power. And if you look at power, it is one issue that really would actually fuel the economy of this region. Okay, if you look at the issues to do with the extension of electricity in West Nile, there has been a lot of changes that have been made, and if you look at the times of commissioning that have been extended, you will realize that the order is so long that we may not mention all. From the start of 20th of December 2022, that actually 2021, that was when we were promised the first commissioning, which was not done on in May. Actually, not in May, but in April, there was another one. And then in June, there was another one. In September, another one. Pushed it to December, it was not there. It came to March this year, it did not happen. May this year, it did not happen. Came to September 30th,
Thereafter, it became indefinite, and it has been postponed to 2025. So this is how we have been left in, and also really we need really that concerted effort to push to government, really, because electricity is one of the fundamental rights that everyone has to enjoy from government, because it is government that actually provides this kind of services, much as people, the citizens are also cost share in it. That is one way that really the loans will be offset. But also, if you look at the magnitude of work that need electricity, it's so quite big that we really needed those things. Sometimes you see power goes on off here when we are even on TV. And that is the real example that we will always be seeing, which is quite unfortunate when we are supposed to pass information on time, and sometimes you see radios switching off and so on. You see that those are the kind of things that we really advocate for. Even in health facilities, we have seen a lot of things happening at the regional referral hospital. When the backup generator is off, there's nothing that you can do beyond anything that we could be expecting. So that is one big issue, and we should be able to really focus so much into it. Moving away from that, there's a lot that is also happening about the democracy of this country. We have seen that a report that was actually disseminated on Tuesday by Afrobarometer. That survey was actually conducted in 118 districts across the country, and it clearly indicated that 38% of the Ugandans believe that there's democracy in this country. So what happens to the 62% of the Ugandans who are still there, outside there? What are they saying? So maybe Faris, what do you make of this? Is there democracy in this country? What is it that may make people to judge that we are not exercising democracy?
You're not talking about the issue of judgment of democracy. It depends on how you think and how you see it. Because if you look at it, for me, I'm a personal believer that we have democracy, though to a less extent. I believe it is there to a less extent. So I think, just like me, this is where the 62% fall. And Frederick, if you look at what is this? What does this mean? It means that people do not have belief in the processes that we have in this country, and that means that the democratic governance that we have in place, people do not actually trust it. And I believe that is why we are witnessing the 62% that is actually more than the numbers of the people that believe that we do have the democracy. So I think it depends on the judgment of the democracy depends on how you see and how
perceive, and also how your services are rendered to you.
How you receive the services actually. But it also depends on the kind of person you are.
Okay.
If you are really a kind of person that it depends on how you see it. That is why I do not want to go much into it. And that is why, and I want to stop.
Okay, if you don't want to, if you, as Faris, doesn't want to go deep into it, I want to ask you one question. How do you see it in relation to exercising democracy? Democracy is actually looked at in different ways. Talk about the kind of governance that we have, the kind of services that are delivered. So how do you look at it in your own perspective? Because you are in dilemma whether there's democracy or not.
Yes, I was clear. We have democracy, but to a less extent.
Yes.
And why I do not want to go into that discussion is for some reasons. I will keep myself.
So you have reserved yourself.
I've reserved myself.
All right.
If I look at democracy.
So you said you reserved yourself. I wanted to stop you there.
Let me explain. If you look at democracy, what does this mean? It is first of all, democracy is in simple terms, it is the majority rule over the minority rule. But where the majority tend to come up with issues,
and they're not considered,
decisions, and the decisions remain unconsidered, that is why we're going to say that we are not democratic enough. So I think that is something that we really need to, that's why I'm saying we need to view it from that angle, and it's for the right reasons and not based myself. So I think. Okay,
one example is the issues to do with electoral reforms that were fronted, remember, from 2005 up to date, and a lot of things have been done, but people have been advocating for a lot of reviews. But these have not been considered, and that's why really most of the Ugandans are saying practicing democracy is made difficult because really the views of the majority are not being considered. Two, talking about a lot of issues to do with governance, regional imbalances, where some regions tend to be more favored, okay, more favored. Looking at the report that was also released by Equal Opportunities Commission, you realize that the Western region is actually more incorporated into the employment sector, especially in the big jobs in government. than any other region in this country. But also looking at the issues to do with the standards of living of the people, you realize that people in Western and Central are more favored than those in other sub-regions or other regions. So that is where really many Ugandans have based their argument about democracy. But it's not all about how really somebody came into power and so on, but it's about service delivery, but also looking at these other aspects of considering the views of the people, because it's actually the people who are supposed to actually look at the aspects of governance, because their views, once they are incorporated, they can make a lot of changes. They can actually make the country grow very, very big. Maybe we will really show fast from that and discussing some of the issues across regional, the region. Faris, there was also another agreement that has been signed by the DRC government and the Southern African Development community, okay, that has been signed to really ask for troops, and the deployment is set to start by January, actually by Monday, tomorrow, a few days now, okay. That is what is happening now. What does this mean to the peacekeepers that have been deployed? Remember, the issues of rebel attacks have been so much.
That is actually what I was coming to.
Yes.
Remember, DRC signing agreement with SADC for the troops. It means a lot, because we have been having our Ugandan troops and other AU troops in this DRC country. What does, but now does it mean that we are going to be withdrawing these troops? And what does it mean to the countries that have really been deploying to DRC? Does it mean that the works they have been doing has not been enough, or there has been doubt? So I think this is something that if we interest ourselves with, we are going to be discussing more. We're going to be finding more about it. So I think SADC. And SADC, first of all, we need to understand what SADC is. SADC, it's a regional corporation that brings out countries
in the southern ends,
of the continent. So I think it brings countries in those areas together. And now DRC is going to sign an agreement with them to see to that they deploy their troops in these countries. And then that means automatically other countries are going to have to evacuate their
They have to leave.
They have to leave.
Yes.
Because two cannot be in that same area, I believe. So I think this is something also that we need to really look out for. And the reasons are best known to DRC, and I believe because DRC, Frederick, this is one of the countries that is really quite unstable. If you look at DRC for some time now has been unstable. And now to bring stability in that country, I think it really calls for concerted efforts to see to that countries unite, to see that they bring they bring some stability in DRC, because this is where we tend to witness a number of rebel activities happening. And then if you look at what we also have in Uganda here, some of these rebel activities that we have been witnessing in the other parts of the country have actually alluded to operations of rebel activities that are taking place in that part of the country. So I think this is also something that maybe at the end of the day, SADC may also be the solution to bring the peace in this country. So I think that is why DRC went for the troops of SADC.
All right. If you look at that agreement there, it's actually clearly indicating that Felix Tshisekedi, who is actually the president of Democratic Republic of Congo, signed this on the 17th of this month, and this was just 2 days to the official launch of the general elections in the country. So many people were asking questions: was this agreement erroneously done? Was it because he was paid something to just do it like that? Why is it that he has failed to even go to the East African community and decided to go to SADC? That is one big issue there that opinion leaders and also experts in the political scene and those who are in intelligence are actually raising there. But looking at that, you realize that the fight or the conflict, the rebel wars that are in DRC are mostly tribal in nature, but also looking at the issues of the raw materials that are still untapped. That is 24 trillion, worth 24 trillion US dollars, according to a research by a UK-based organization, that is Michigan University. It actually clearly indicates that about 24 trillion US dollar raw materials are actually untapped in DRC. So that's why really the conflict is actually going on throughout, that people want to make governance very unstable and make use of all those raw materials. And that is it. And we will take a break from here When we come back, we'll be actually answering in our guests and also discussing the pertinent issues to do with the policy gaps in addressing GBV, but also how GBV has been able to impact on the lives of children in this world. Also, more so talking about Arua City, Arua District, West Nile, and Uganda at large. Because remember, the 16 days of activism is commencing soon, and we'll be seeing a lot of interventions done by different partners and different players in different institutions, and also activities tailored towards that. Let's take a break from here. Thank you.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
We are the passion you've been waiting for! It's Yunus Junior Santamu! It's our league, our football, our boys, our style. Start Times UPL new season starts 15th September. Go for it! What a finish from Fukume! The Ugandan flair, Brazilian samba, Portuguese magic, the night football craze. More TV games live on Senyuka Prime and Fufa TV only on Star Times. The Star Times UPL, our league, go for it.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
We are the passion you've been waiting for! It's Yunus Junior Santamu! It's our league, our football, our boys, our style. Star Times UPL new season starts 15th September. Go for it! What a finish from Fukume! The Ugandan flair, Brazilian samba, Portuguese magic, the night football craze. More TV games live on Senyuka Prime and Fufa TV only on Star Times. The Star Times UPL, our league, go for it.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Alright, welcome back from that commercial break. You are still watching West Nile TV. That is the Kokoliriko show that comes every Monday to Friday. My name is Frederick Ramadu. We're still continuing with the discussions here, but I've just shortly been joined by one of the guests that we were expecting, and we'll be discussing a lot of issues here to do with GBV as we are commemorating or looking at the issues of GBV, also advocacy, a lot of issues that have been really made. Remember, from the time of COVID, many people failed to do their work, and this actually affected a lot of issues. The issues of livelihood have been really a lot of challenges that many people have been going through. But let me introduce my guest, that is Dritsile Godfrey, who comes from SEFTA. Okay, I don't know if that is right. Maybe Dritsile was welcome.
Thank you very much.
Okay, that is him, and we'll be discussing a lot of issues to do with GBV, but also first focusing on the issues of children who are the last people who, I don't know if they benefit negatively in terms of the issues, the conflicts that exist, but also the issues that are tailored towards GBV. And GBV, if you talk about it, that is gender-based violence. Many people always talk about women and children, but we have seen this time many are also reporting a lot of cases of violation of their rights, violation of their things, or abuse of their rights and so on. Many of them that are happening. And if you look at the recent statistics from West Nile region, you realize that 98 of the men have actually complained against women who are actually insulting them, okay, abusing them. That's one factor that is actually happening. And you realize that these are coming out because of advocacy, because men, by liberal culture, feel like a man has not to actually expose his problems, but also he is not supposed to cry. And that is a very big issue that has been actually making many people sigh away. Maybe let's pick it from there. What is contained in this thing called GBV? Yes.
Thank you very much, viewers, and thank you very much, everyone. As my host, Ramadri, I'm good to be here. And the issue at hand is what everyone is almost. There is a global issue, and is what everyone is going through. We are talking about GBV, and GBV is what is the gender-based violence. Yes. It's any harmful practice that is either done to a man or a woman, regardless of being an issue of sex. You understand? So then, in the Western context, we still have issues of GBV that keeps coming. That means the prevalence, the numbers keep going. Every day if you go to police, we have cases that have been recorded. You have people come, maybe say today, maybe a girl is abused, a woman is abused. Rarely, also, of course, we also have issues of men who have been maltreated or who have been treated badly. But of course, though, as I said, the society definition, the stereotypes of the community where when something goes wrong to men, they're not supposed to come out to say it. So we have a lot of men who go silently through a lot of things. So that means the issue of GBV in our region, Western alone, the numbers are so high. The one that are recorded, even the ones that are not recorded. So I mean, it's so high. So now then we are connecting this issue of GBV to 16 days of activism. This is when we talk about 16 days of activism, this is where the gender activists, people who push for gender issues, come up together, push for their voices, say what can we do together to advocate issues when it comes to issues of violence against women, or of course this will be issues of women against and children. But also we also realize that it's also becoming this the violence against the men, because also we're also realizing that the life of men matters, and many of them also they're going through a lot, whether psychologically, whether physically, because like that. So contextually or at the current status within the West Nile districts, the issue of GBV is so high.
Okay, you have been one of the civil society organizations. I mean, those that are not under government, a non-governmental organization that has been doing a lot of activities tailored towards curbing gender-based violence. Also other aspirations that you've been doing with the community. How have you been able to see the situation at community level, looking at what is actually happening?
Yeah, that's very good. But you see, yeah, as you said, at our region level, the issue of GBV is very high. But zero nothing to down, as we go to communities, we have also realized that it's our region here. Poverty also has played a very key role when it comes to the issue of GBV. Because you see, there's one factor that which we can't ignore. When the communities are pushed to, when poverty comes in, the language even people speak at home changes. Just one example, one family, as a man, maybe if you can't provide for the needs of the family, or maybe when the basic needs of the family are not there, the language at home is going to change. We have seen issues where there's somewhere women throw men with money. You are giving a woman maybe 5,000, 10,000, you are leaving home, the woman says, what are you giving us? You are thrown with the money. You can imagine that. So, and even living on that, we have people who have put their children into teenage pregnancy, in the early marriages, simply because the family thinks now the only way is to bail these girls out, to send them out, so that we can be able to fulfill our bills. So in the communities, the issue of poverty has also played a key role when it comes to issue of gender-based violence. But another thing also I've also come to, as we go to communities, we have noticed is the issue of the stereotypes. You see the definition, the society has defined us in a way that the way they've defined men. They will tell you, oh, men are strong, men are supposed to this, you're not supposed to cry, you be a man. But there are things you go through. You see that kind of things. So because I'm a man, I'm supposed to be strong. Whatever situation I go through, I can't open. Whether I'm being abused violently or against my things. So that's what the definition is gone. Even of late, you've seen there's this thing. The world is going so crazy. I was telling my colleague the other day that like ladies, that I need a man who has 6 packs. Now you're going to even make men to go to gym, you have to go to do this. That's also against somebody's will. That's also another way. People go to a lot when they develop this of 6 packs. So the issue of the community, the GBV, the community is so high. One, you talk about poverty. Two, the society, the stereotypes. Then also the issues of also another common issue we have seen in the communities is the IPV, what we call the intimate partner violence. There are people who, of course I know these are things maybe now you may not understand some of them, because there are people who are in relationship who go through a lot. We have heartbreaks, we have this, we have to like this is another form of, by the way, maybe somebody picks maybe money from a partner, cannot pay, the partner goes through a lot of things. Those are different forms of things which people go through. Those are violence in the communities. So as we go to communities, those are cases we incur where the cases of GBV are still so high in the communities, both between the men and women. Also drunk alcoholism. If you go to communities so now, because the woman is drinking, the man is drinking, not the end, the home is getting scattered, even don't know who is controlling the home. You understand? Just go to some communities in Terego here, just for example, go to Riama, even if it's vice versa, the women are drinking more than men. Who is supposed to be now, you see? So when people drink, when you come home, already you are drinking, you are drunkard, and the language also maybe there's poverty level, so the communication doesn't matter, and then it ends to fighting.
Okay. All right, those are some of the examples or experiences that have been really realized in communities. But if you look at the impact of this on the young people, the children that are below 15 years, 18 years, and so on, they are so much. Maybe I will cite a few from the police report that was released in 2020. You realize that out of the cases that were registered, that was 380 of them. There were cases of defilement that were actually registered, and you realize that 240 of these were really children who got HIV, and most of them were sexually abused by their parents, guidance, or relatives, or even some people who could lure them using money. And that's the impact of really the poverty that you actually highlighted, and many others that we'll talk about the child trafficking and many other things that our policies have actually put clauses on them and also penalties about this. And what are some of those cases that you have seen that children are going through and that have not really been captured in our laws, or even if they are there, because the laws are not really regularly enforced, because sometimes people fail to report these cases timely, but sometimes also you have loopholes in the justice system that we have. You realize that they are not really being held in time. What are some of those cases that you have ever seen?
Thank you very much, Frederick. There's one thing that also has become common is we have issues of poor parenting. poor parents that I'm connecting to that way that the parents have failed to take care of their children. Our children now, they're in the hands of the maids. And also, as we go to workplace, first, as parents, we leave work very early. You leave work in the morning, you come back in the evening. But some of these, even the maids who are taking care of our children, some of them are violent. Even the way they handle our children at home. You come home, you find your child, you leave the child very, very well in the morning. By the time you are reaching evening, but the child is already maybe, some of these children go through a lot of physical violence, even from, first of all, they are being tortured by the maids. So even when they're being abused, at times when we have those kind of cases. So you find children who are growing under the hands of the maids do go through a lot. So when you come, the children go through emotional when it comes to some of those things. Then also secondly, also because they need lack of support to our children. Because when there are children who when the parents become irresponsible, they can't get the necessary support that they needed. As you see, so the children end up going through a lot. Even the children, but who go through a lot of stress. You understand? From what goes on in the community, when every day maybe the family is not in peace, people are quarreling, people are this. Even the children themselves don't even find peace. Even this affects the performance. You understand? You have gone to institute where you go to schools where children, even instead of now being in class, they are sleeping as early as 8 a.m.
Maybe many times people think that stress is actual for others because really you have no money to give to the family, you have all these, a lot of challenges coming. How come that children are also in a stressful environment? What are the things that contribute to those kind of violence? Maybe talking about an example, the stress that you talked about. How do children become stressed? What are those things they're thinking about? What can be really contributing to that? You see
everyone enjoys peace of mind. The quality of peace your home demonstrates also puts the happiness in the children. So once now in a case where the family is in chaos, the children, because also children in some age, they are thinking, they understand the family like this. When the family is in chaos, when the family cannot provide, when the family is going through a lot, it does affect the children personally. Because now the children be there, the way our parents are going, the way our home is going down, will they pay my children? Will they get for me school fees? Will I eat tomorrow? You see those kind of things put children in that kind of state. You understand? So when they begin losing interest in their families, when they see their colleagues, maybe they are living very well, maybe they have been dropped to school, they are laughing in their home, but my home, people are fighting, my home, we can't sleep. There are some parents, even where I come from, some of my villages, people begin, this I don't know, I don't put in Logbara, maybe, yeah, people back on you. A man drinks, he shouts the whole night. By the time he's sleeping, it's around the 3 a.m. Now, children even don't get peace. You understand? Children find it very difficult. So, stress is something that is emotional. So, it's something that is in the heart. So, so long as you are a living thing, you're subjected to it. But even animals, but they also go through stress. The other day, we were explaining some people. The way even the violence against animals. When you beat animals, it's true. When you beat animals, when you don't feed animals, they also go through stress. But at times often we don't notice that the animals also go through stress. Yes.
All right. Animals also have stress, and that is one thing that is coming up there. Let's take a break from here. Actually, we'll be coming back shortly and continue with the discussions around from here. Let's take a break. Thank you.
Man.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
We're continuing with the discussions, and that's where really we say thank you for really remaining online and watching what is actually going on. We are continuing with the discussions to do with GBV, its impact on children, and also what existing policies do we have, and also what is a mission. What can we do? And that's why we are here. We have been able to bring for you the chief executive officer or the executive director, or we will say maybe manager, I don't know, but that is it. That is Richile, who is here with me discussing a lot of issues to do with GBV. And we'll take it up to the hour of 10 minutes to 9. That's where we'll be having the news in Lubarati, brought to you by Fete Emmanuel. My name is Frederick Tamade. Maybe we were discussing a lot of issues to do with how really children have found themselves in a stressful environment due to gender-based violence that has been committed. And we have seen that so many issues contribute to these children moving away from their homes. We have seen a lot of street kids just because of gender-based violence. When the environment at home is not really that good one, you realize that some children do not want even to own their parents. They don't want to identify with their parents because they are drunkards. Sometimes they are abusing each other. Sometimes they cannot even be able to afford to pay school fees for these children. That is a violation of their rights to education. So those are some of the issues that we're actually highlighting there. And also remember the issues to do with the legal frameworks that we have in this country. How are they being enforced, and also do they favor the current environment in the technological era where we have many people giving more time to technology than giving their time to parent physically the children? That is where we are heading to. Maybe Dusilele may bring your attention to this issue. What are the policies, existing policies that we have in this country that you see are actually doing well in as far as the issues of putting down the cases that are coming up from gender-based violence?
Thank you very much, Frederick. Yeah, it's true. As a country, as the government of Uganda is committed and is dedicated to prevent violence against children and women in the country. First of all, when under the prevention of violence against women and children, Uganda is one of the one of the signatories when it comes to prevention of violence against children. And secondly, also in the place, also because we have also the rules and the regulations, and also the laws that prevent this because violence against women, the violence against children in this country is illegal. So when you do anything that controls that is in our penal codes. So it is, so you are subjected to law. You are supposed to be prosecuted. So that's under our laws. Of course, also as a country, normally as Uganda, we have beautiful laws that we have put in place. We have laws that we have enacted to support the prevention of these. But as one of the challenges as a country, me personally, I'm not afraid to say, is always when it comes to implementation of our laws in this country. Many of us we have beautiful laws that were put in place that we're going to say that when we get somebody who is going to violate, who is going to rape, who is going to abuse our women or our children, this person is going to be put behind bars. But when it comes to implementation, we have issues as a country, issues of implementation. We have poor implementations of laws in our country. One, it begins with the police. Even because there are people in the police who are supposed to be to arrest some of these people who are supposed to do this, at times they are compromised either by some of these perpetrators when they are given money and at times they end up not even discharge their duties that are supposed to be given to them efficiently. Then secondly, also the issue of the culture. You understand the cultural aspects where there are still some cultures that stop maybe reporting the cases of violence against women or in our region. Like this is an example. We still have people who are still taking this thing of Aruba in Lobara, where the women are not supposed to take a man to court because maybe to police, maybe to be arrested because if a man beats a woman is not supposed to report.
But we have seen, from the Lobara culture, we have seen women running to their families or the parents and accusing the husband. We have seen people solving the issues. Was that not really a court, or it was just something?
Yeah, but you see, of course we have a traditional justice system that keeps it there. But the question is, how efficient, how effective is this traditional justice? How sure are we that what the penalties, maybe the justice correspond to the offense done? One, let's give you an example. A lady is raped. Then a lady is raped, we go to culture. Maybe say the culture says maybe when a lady is raped, maybe they give one goat or one. But this one goat is equivalent to the rape, the abuse this lady has gone through. You see, we're talking about the traditional system and the balance of it. You understand? It is true, of course. There are this local negotiations that people do that may be there, which I don't clarify. But some of these things they don't add up to the offenses that have been committed. So people now, what we even look at the courage for us yourself, what the government is saying is when those kind of committed or offenses are committed, or those maybe abuses, you are allowed to report. You are allowed even this. When your husband abuses you, even when a woman abuses me, because there are also women who beat men. Suppose maybe if my wife beats me, is abusing me, I have a right as a man to take this woman to police to report. Even I know people may see me as awkward, but it's me who is feeling the thing. Yeah, that's something serious. Even if,
yeah, right.
Yes.
We've seen so many men dying silently, but in the recent past, we've seen there's already a positive mindset change and among the men in relation to responding to some of these cases. But also, as we blame police, there are issues to do with the reporting. Okay, do we report the cases? Is it because we feel like police is there, they're supposed to run to go and do maybe operations around these areas? But also, what is the community role in as far as these implementations are concerned? As we maybe say that the implementation of laws is made difficult by different factors, what is the role of the community in as far as implementing some of these laws is concerned?
Thank you very much. As I said, the fight against GBV is everyone's responsibility, whether the community, the media, the government, everyone. But the community also plays a very key role when it comes to cooperating, because the people who perpetrate these things, the people who commit these crimes, they live in the communities, and the communities know them. When you say a woman being abused, a woman being raped, a man being beaten, the communities know even who is being beaten where. The communities know these things. So the community has a cardinal role, a pivotal role to report the cases when these things happen. We have the community structures that are put in place. We have the LCs, the first in the community there, where these cases happen. We have the VHTs that are in the communities that live with the people. When these kind of abuses happen, if you know that maybe you don't have the powers to go up, the best you can do is to report this to the LC. The LC can pick from there. We have the NGOs who live in the communities there, who work with them there, who can be able to push your head, your voice to the head. Now we have even the LC systems, we have the LCT systems in some counties. Those kind of things are there. So the community has a role to report these kind of cases, to even to expose some of these things, because we know. And even there's some communities that they have gone ahead. They have set bylaws. Like maybe they set bylaws that when in your community, when you fight, when you beat your wife, when a woman beats a man, when you don't respect this, some communities, they have set laws and they're very clear. Even the punish. I've seen some communities where even the drunkards are beaten. When you don't want to provide, you are irresponsible, you are causing chaos in the communities, they bring you down in the community, you are caned. Yeah, so those are things, you are beaten, even those kind of things. So that is another level of course, trying to also do some discipline in you. Of course, the beating may not, maybe where they injure you, maybe into like that. But also there's this immoderate one where you learn, where we say African ears in the buttocks. That's the kind of things. So the community also has those kind of things really to also to have a role as a community to play, because in our silence, if you're going to if you keep quiet as a community, the more you keep silent, is the more the cases happen. There's one scholar who said one scholar said, it is not about it's not about your silence. When you see bad things happening and you keep quiet, actually even you contribute more, because your silence means a lot. Because if you speak out about these things, you would have saved a life.
Okay, looking at that from that perspective, we have seen so many children raised on the streets in different places, and many people fail to even take responsibility. We used to see that society takes toll into some of those issues, trying to address the issues of children disciplining and so on. But this has gone away to the dogs and so on, because we have seen dogs moving with their children, the babies and so on. The dogs really enjoy that comfort. But as human beings, what has gone wrong? Looking at that, because violence against children is one of the issues that actually triggers the children to go on to streets, maybe to move away from their families and so on. What triggers that?
Yeah, it's true. Like as I told you, when children don't find peace at home, and when the home becomes very hostile, and when the children lack the basic needs at home, eventually people are going to move away. Children are going to. We have cases of even children in Yarua City here. If you move around, they have children who are in the street, who are begging, who are there, because not maybe because some wanted to be there, but because the parents have failed to provide for their children. The parents have made the life at home so uncomfortable that children even now their homes become so like police style for them. But that's one example. If these are live things. If you see some homes where every morning children maybe they are gathered in that home. Maybe for some homes where children live there, other places they come and gather in this home. It's either this home they have got freedom. Second, this home they have something to eat when they're hungry. This home they have peace. If you see your children not coming to your home, that means you know that your relationship with children is a bit like that. Also, then of course also the issue of the children, they also like this. They also children that are not planned. The are people who ended because people go into these relationships. People have they go children that are not planned. So when the children come, they get you are not prepared financially like this. So we have children, there are women these who have left children. They have the grandmothers. They have run away to city or they have run to other places. So even the grandmother itself even find it difficult to take care of this kid. So what is the result? People moving to streets. You understand? So those are the cases that have also been rampant in the communities, and they also I think within the Western Nile context and our region here. Yes.
All right. And those who are watching us now, this is the Kokoliriko live show that comes every Monday to Friday. Today is the Friday edition, but we are discussing the issues to do with GBV. Its impact on children, and also the existing policies that we have in this country, and also what is it that we can pick as an advocacy as we move on with the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. And remember, tomorrow is the very big day that will be really trying to commemorate and making sure that the gender-based violence against women is fought and also made really loud. Loud voices are made and shown. We'll be seeing a lot of activists launching a lot of things, activities and shown tailored towards really raising the voices of the women. So I hope on 19th of this month, the men had enjoyed something on that Sunday of theirs. So that is very, very important that we should be able to really tackle each and every person who is either male or female in order to really make sure that the equity that we are talking about, the emancipations that we are advocating for are all achieved. And those of you who are watching us now, if you have any comment on or any suggestion or any opinion you want to share, you can share with us on our social media platforms. We'll be able to project them live on the television screens and also make sure that other people are able to understand what is actually going on. Maybe let's go back to the topic, and we are on many other issues to do with police framework that we have in this country. Godfrey, let me bring you on the issues to do with the existing gaps. What is it that you have for over time seen that needed actually to be improved by government in the fight against gender-based violence?
Yeah, thank you very much. Of course, yeah, as I said, it's true. The government of Uganda is true. They have enacted a lot of laws and the policies in place, but the implementation of these policies has not been really as up to date. So it is up to the government, I think, also to pull up the socks. Maybe see that we have a lot of these cases handled, because if you go to court, we have a lot of backlog of court cases that are still pending, that even needed at prosecution. We have still have the victims who are still in the still have people who have not got justice out of these kind of things. So I think it's also a recommendation to government that there's need to strengthen the structures that they've put that have been put on the ground to enable and to support the GBV referral pathways. Then second, also the funding base for the GBV sector has also been low, because you also realize the challenges of implementation, because now you find these officers even need to go to field, they need logistical support. You go to police, they tell you the oil motorcycle that got spoiled. Until if you have the cases when you call police, they can't even respond on time, because they will tell you, oh, we don't have logistics, we don't have transport, we don't have this, unless maybe you are going to come up with your transport, your border to take this. Now you can imagine a poor woman in the village there who is struggling to eat, who is struggling to feed herself, raising fuel to go to call police to go there. So I think the government need to do a lot when it comes to putting support logistics. And then also, of course, also there's a lot of the NGOs, the CBOs who are doing a lot also when it comes to the GBV fighting in the districts, in the communities. So I think also they also need to be given support and also given the environment to operate freely so that they're able to also government to support them, because there's also CBOs organizations that they're doing GBV that they also struggle in the districts when it comes to clearing them, when maybe signing their MOUs. So I think this is the role of the government. You need to support these CBOs, the organization that they are doing that, so that they will be able to also to see together we fight this disease that is so common in this. Also cultural, also the cultural institutions also need to work together with even the religious leaders. Also, these are the people who have authority in the communities. These are the people, when they speak, the community listens to. Even the other time I was interacting with some priests, some of the imams. I was telling them, as you preach to, as you give your sermons to people in the church on Fridays, even on Sundays, try to integrate some of these things into a homily. Tell people the truth. Because the people listen to you, people believe you in you. So when you use some of these platforms to pass the advocacy, even the people to call the social media influencers, we have people who have a lot of followers, people who post a lot of things when people read, people command respect. Some of these spaces, even the celebrities, these are things, even the media, some of these opportunities you get, let's just use this opportunity together to pass to sensitize the communities. Because the issue of some of these things, they come because people lack knowledge, people are ignorant about some of these existing laws, or some of the policies that they put on the ground. So as the media, as the social media influencers, as the people of the stakeholders in this country, in this city, in this West Nile, let us join our hands together and put so that we push together. Because the advocacy is not one person thing. It is together our collective effort to see that we pass this issue of GBV information to communities. Where necessary, also we report. Let's not keep quiet. When you see people abusing a woman, or people beating a woman near you, take an action. When somebody is being abused near you, what is your responsibility? We have the phones. Take a photo, record the video. Let it pass viral. Let people pick from there. What do we do with our technology? It's very powerful. So these are things we need to also to respond. And also, I think also before I think I'm trying to divert a bit, but I want to say this because I think it's good that I've got this chance to say this. The issue of I talked about the issue of the intimate partners. This is something that is according to our research, it has come new, and that needs to be fought. People are made into relationships. You join to relationships. Relations keep collapsing after 1 week or the other or 1 month because the demands are so high. A lady feels when I'm dating her, the next time she transferred her bills on me. She transferred everything. She thinks actually now in Uganda I was telling somebody relationship was become not even relationship, it's not parenting. And when you fail to meet somebody's needs, the next thing is you're going to break down. Maybe you're going to have breakups, and some of these breakups they affect many passionately. Because issue of stress comes, issue of stroke comes, issue of mental health issues come. So these are things I think also. So then you also have this kind of harassment, violence at workplaces, where people take favor. Because when I'm giving a job, somebody I must sleep with the person or compromises. You see, because you live in a country where even getting a small job is very difficult. So people go through a lot under behind the scenes to get jobs. So we're saying this is wrong and this must be reported. When the staff, maybe the staffs I supervise, the people I work with, at workplaces, when you somebody trying to go to this is a thing you need to come out openly. Don't die there. When your boss is trying to take advantage of you at her position to abuse you, don't keep quiet. Let's fight for justice and come out and be open to those sort of things.
Right, that is it from the guests, and also a lot that we need to do together as stakeholders. And remember the issues of the GBV prevention guidelines were actually disseminated in 2019. I hope that all of us are reading. Okay, Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development has done a lot in terms of trying to bring out a lot of the gaps that are existing and also trying to address them through those tutorials. You can download them. Also, the parenting guidelines are also there. So that is one other big issue. We used to have actual parenting clubs at every village, at every parish, and also there were adulthood education that were rolled by ministry and also organizations, but these have really disappeared. So each parent is for himself. every child is for herself. So that is one thing we really need to try to address. In this technological era, there's a lot that many people are going through because of economic crisis, a lot that we are experiencing in different parts of this country. So we should be able to really look at all these gaps and also address them. At family level, you can look at yourself and also how you are running your family. You can pick a leaf from a colleague who is actually having children. If your children are always running to somebody's place, you ask this child, what is actually making you run there? Instead of beating the child, okay? There are moments people feel like their children should remain at their doors, and yet the children are learning nothing. Children want to also share with others. Social integration is another big issue that children are looking for. They want that freedom to express themselves with the colleagues, their age mates, and so on. They want to learn a lot of things. So when children are moving like this, you should be focusing on whether they are learning the good things or bad things, and that's very, very critical. And also, who are those people who are actually giving them the advices? What kind of ideas do they actually impart in these children? That's a very good thing that we should be able to learn from. And there are many laws that have been amended in relation to the issues of gender-based violence and also parenting. We should be able to interest ourselves to learn some of these things. But also, if opportunity is given and the leaders who are in government offices, you should be able to move out. For instance, the community development officers, the child protection welfare officers, and so on, many others that we may talk about, the CDOs and so on, we should be able to move out to the communities to impact knowledge, also sensitize them. And on top of what we as media houses are trying to do as journalists and also media houses, talk about West Nile TV, who was given a free platform to disseminate this information. If this was to be paid for, then you should be able to know that what will be discussed will be different. Okay, we have given this because we cherish the community that is able to actually develop very, very well in a very holistic manner, and that's why we are bringing these kind of things to you, so that you pay attention, you'll be able to really get it. And also, most importantly, we don't want it to go just once. That's why we have decided to offer social media platforms that you can be able to tap from at any time you want to watch, you want to listen, you want to really see what is actually happening, so that you are able to pick a leaf from there, from the experiences of people that they have been able to share. So we'll be able to do more of stories about gender-based violence that we'll be able to learn in subsequent bulletins. Remember, the Nilecast will be there, the news in Lukurati, that is the Yolaza will be there, the Lemangia of Walur will also be there. That will be able to get most of these kind of things. Maybe to my guests, let's have the parting shots, and we leave the rooms for the people who are coming with the news in Lukurati. Maybe, Disle, you can give us your last remarks in relation to this. Yes. Thank you very much. In the special way, I would want to thank the West Nile TV, the management and the staffs, entire staffs, for the taking active part in the advocacy system by providing platform for us, for the civil society, for the government to disseminate information. And like as I said, this support you have given us cannot be taken for granted. This is something very good, we appreciate, and being one of the best, actually the best TV station in the region, and what the brand we trust in, and we're really proud to associate with West Nile TV, and we continue encouraging viewers to support the West Nile TV for what we are doing. And secondly, as I said, the Arua City official launches the 16 days of activism, supposed to be tomorrow, but due to one or the other, they are pushing it on 1st of December. That's going to be together with the day of the commemoration of the issue of the AIDS Day. So then I think it's going to be on 1st of December. That's when we're going to launch it officially. But of course, also other activities are from tomorrow. But the country-wise, it's going to be tomorrow. That's every 25th of November, where the GBV, the 16 days is launched. So then let us, in your own ways, in whatever you do, whether workplace, whether home, in the community, just know you have a responsibility to prevent a person from getting harmed. You have a responsibility to protect their soul. So let us, is our collective responsibility, because the theme of this year says unite to prevent violence against children and women in the society. So it's our role to protect the communities, and let us work together to make sure that GBV
is reduced or even better ought to be kicked out in our society. Thank you very much. I think this is what I can be able to say, and I'm very proud to be here, and I'm always proud to associate with National TV.
All right, that is it, and we appreciate your coming also, and also we apologize that we are supposed to have one female on the other hand, and I don't know what happened, but because of different issues that may arise, we were unable to get her, and we hope that in the subsequent days when we give you a call, you'll be able to make it, and also many other people who will be called to come and share will be able to share. So we appreciate the management for this platform, and also we're out of the studios right now. We'll be ushering the news in Lubarati shortly.